Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Lessons in Tanya class. We finished up chapter 14 last week in Lessons in Tanya, which is in Likutei Amarim, which is the first section of Tanya. So chapter 14 of the first section. This week, we're going to start chapter 15. Last week, well, let's just read it. He always sums it up, it seems, at the beginning of the next chapter. In the previous chapters, the Alter Rebbe discussed the difference between the tzaddik and the Benoni. The tzaddik has no evil inclination, since there is no longer any evil in his own soul. Evil holds no attraction for him. In the Benoni, however, the evil remains strong. The Benoni therefore finds evil desirable, and it is only through the constant vigilance and struggle of his divine soul, Nefesh Elokis, that he's able to prevent his animal soul from implementing its desires in thought, speech, and action. So those three garments of thought, speech, and action. With this distinction in mind, we may understand the verse. And you will return and see the difference between the righteous man and the wicked one, between he who serves God and he who serves him not. Who doesn't serve. Malachi 3:18. The Talmud in Hagiga 9b. Oh, thank you so much. Sorry, got a smoothie. The Talmud raises the question in Hagiga 39b. The term righteous man is identical with he who serves God, and the wicked man is obviously he who serves him not. Why then does the text repeat the contrast? In answer, the Talmud states both he who serves God and he who serves him not are fully righteous. Yet one who reviews his studies 100 times cannot compare to he who reviews his studies 101 times. However, this answer seems to clarify only the second set of seemingly repetitive terms, the wicked man and he who serves him not. Far from being wicked, he who serves him not is so described only because he reviews his Torah studies no more than 100 times. Yet we remain with the difficulty posed by the first set of identical descriptions, the righteous man and he who serves God. In fact, the above quoted Talmudic interpretation of the verse adds yet a third category, he who serves him not, yet is also righteous. It is this difficulty that the Alter Rebbe now resolves, based on his previous distinction between the tzaddik and the Benoni. Very interesting. I would think that he who serves him not would be like a Russia or something like that. The difference between he who serves God and Oved, and what we would call an Oved, or like a servant, what's the root word for, well, I don't know what's the root word, but the root word is to serve. So Ovoda Zara, that's where we get Ovoda Zara from. So service. The difference between he who serves God, Oved, and a righteous man, Tzaddik, is that he who serves God, written in the present tense, describes one who is still presently laboring in his divine service. The service consists of the struggle against one's evil nature with the aim of overpowering it and banishing it from the small city, i.e., the body, which is like a city whose conquest is the objective of both the good and the evil nature. So that should not vest itself on the organs of the body through evil thought, speech, or action. So if you remember, the heart distributes things. It distributes all the nutrients of the for the body, and so too the either the animal soul or the nefesh elokis, the godly soul, can distribute those things through the heart. So you want to make sure that the godly soul is distributing things to all those organs, all those distances throughout all the points of your body through thought, speech, and it turns it into thought, speech, and action. Doing battle against his evil nature is the avoda service of he who serves God. This constant battle with one's evil nature truly entails much effort, service, and toil. This is the Benoni. It is he who must wage this battle. It is the Benoni who is called he who serves God, for he is actively engaged at present in his service. Very interesting. He's like switching it, what I would have initially thought that verse to mean. So that verse, the righteous man and the wicked one, between one who serves God and he who serves him not. It's almost as if the author would be saying that he who serves him not is the tzaddik, and this is the Benoni. Because serving God means you're actually doing, you're not resting. You're actively engaged in fighting off the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, or the.
And it sounds like it's kind of, or it was may mention too, whether it's in this world or the world to come. Which
As
world
another
are you
level.
in?
As another level of complexity.
Because a tzaddik would be in the upper world, would be that he's not serving him, he's serving him not, which would be that he doesn't actively on earth have to serve him because he's already reached that level. Does that make sense, Russell?
Yeah, right. That's pretty, I would not have thought that. My intuition wasn't thinking that way. When it says he who serves him not, I was thinking it was like a Rasha, an evil person. He's saying the opposite, not even just the opposite, it's slightly different. So this is very interesting. That's the Benoni who's serving Hashem.
Mm-hmm.
The tzaddik,
serving him by resisting evil.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what it's
To
saying.
get to be a tzaddik. So he's working on trying to become a tzaddik, where the tzaddik is.
Rosh is not even working on it.
No,
he doesn't.
He is not in this chapter yet.
Excellent. Very good.
Can I add something to that, please?
Yeah.
It's in the Shostings one, and I think this is where we're at. And what Teresa was just touching on. The difference between one who serves God and the tzaddik is that the term for serves, obed, is in the present tense, implying that he is in the midst of laboring in his service of God, which is the war that he is wrangling against the evil inclination, wherein he struggles to prevail over it and drive it out of the small city so that it will not become clothed in the limbs of the body. Constantly wrangling war against the evil inclination truly entails considerable labor and toil. This is the Benoni. The Benoni is called an active present, one who serves because he's continually engaging in the battle with the evil inclination for control of his own body, the small city. For the Benoni, this war is not a finite episode that occurred sometime in the past. It is ongoing for the duration of his life. I think that's what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Oh, where did I leave off? The tzaddik, on the other hand, is designated a servant, an eved of Hashem, as a title conferred on the person himself. It is not merely a description of one's active role, as is the designation of one who serves. The term servant is similar to the title sage or king, bestowed on one who has already become a sage or king. So too, he, the tzaddik, has already effected and completely accomplished his service of waging war with the evil in him. He has banished, and it is gone from him, leaving the seed of evil nature in his heart void within him. Having completed this task, the tzaddik has earned the title servant of God. So, okay, very cool. Mm-hmm. It is a position, it is a place We now see that the expressions a righteous man and he who serves God are not repetitious. He who serves God is not a description of a tzaddik, but of a Benoni. Very good. I'm glad they explained that because I would completely mess that up. The Alter Rebbe now goes on to discuss the difference between he who serves God and he who serves him not, who, as the Talmud declares, is not wicked. See, that's what I would have thought initially. In the category of Benoni, there are also two levels. Oh my. He who serves God and he who serves him not. Yet he who serves him not is not wicked, although he does not wage war with his evil nature. For never in his life has he committed even a minor transgression in the realm of negative commandments. He has also fulfilled all the positive commandments which he was able to fulfill, including the precept of Torah study, which is equal to all the other commandments combined, to the extent that his mouth never ceased from study. Despite the difficulty involved in this, yet he is still described as one who does not serve God, for he does not wage any battle against his evil inclination. To vanquish it through the aid of the divine light that illuminates the godly soul, abiding in the brain, which rules over the heart, as explained above. So, the divine light that illuminates. Okay, wow. Okay, I got to read this again. I'm sorry, guys. He does not wage any battle against his evil inclination to vanquish it through the aid of the divine light. So there's an or of Hashem, a light of Hashem, that from the light, the ear upon the nefesh, peace. So there's a light of Hashem that illuminates a light. So it doesn't say Hashem, but a light of Hashem that illuminates the godly soul abiding in the brain. Which rules over the heart, as explained above. So we've been through that. That the godly soul and the divine light illuminating it are the Benoni's answer to his evil inclination. He who serves him not does not struggle with it, for his evil inclination does not oppose him at all in an attempt to deter him from his Torah study and divine service, and thus he needs not wage any war against it. So it is, for example, with one who is by nature an assiduous student, assiduous student to do his stolid, due to his stolid temperament, and who is also free of conflict with sexual desire due to his frigid nature. And similarly, with other mundane pleasures, he need not exert himself to master a desire for them, for he naturally lacks any feeling for enjoyment. For this reason, he does not need to contemplate so much on the greatness of God to consciously create a spirit of knowledge and fear of God in his mind, in order to guard himself from transgressing any prohibitive commandments. He also need not create a love of God in his heart, which would motivate him to bind himself to him through fulfilling the positive commandments and through Torah study, which equals all the other commandments together. The hidden love of God found in the heart of all Yisrael, who are called the lover of his name, the lovers of his name. Tehillim, Psalm 69:3-7 is sufficient for him to motivate his fulfilling the commandments, since he is naturally so inclined. For a Jew who must engage in battle with his evil inclination, the love hidden in his heart is not enough. He must arouse it to an active, conscious state. For the person who is free of conflict with evil, however, This hidden love, together with his naturally favorable character traits, is sufficient. For this reason, he is not considered one who is serving God at all. For this latent love is not of his making or achievement by any means. It is our inheritance bequeathed by our patriarchs to the entire Klal Yisrael nation, to all the congregation of Yisrael, as well as will be explained further. With this, the Alter Rebbe concluded the thought that within the level of Benoni there are two subcategories: he who serves God and he who serves him not. He now goes on to say that even one who is not naturally endowed with traits favorable to God's service may yet come under the category of he who serves him not.
James,
Yeah.
James, can I add a little bit to that,
Sure.
which I just read
Sure.
from Goldstein? Wow. It's interesting. Just let me see. Sorry, I want to get back here. It says back where we're talking about lust and everything.
Mhm.
It's similar. He may not battle against feelings of lust for women because of his frigid temperament. The same is true of other pleasures of the world. By nature, he lacks any feeling for physical enjoyment. The capacity to enjoy sensual pleasure differs from one person to the next. Yet a lack of sensuality is no indication of spiritual achievement or righteousness. A person may not pay any attention to what he eats or what he sees, and the same applies to sexual desire. Such an individual can sit in a study hall and be occupied with fulfillment of a mitzvot, while the world around him presents no temptation. He gets dressed every morning, his breakfast, and goes about his business. His single-minded focus on Torah study does not stem from a magnetic attraction to holiness. He is simply disinclined by nature to do anything else. He could be a clerk, a professor, or a rabbi. It makes no difference. His disposition would be the same. And then it goes on right here, what we just read. His intimate feeling of connection to God by virtue of which, this is the other one. Therefore, he is not at all considered one who serves God because of his concealed love is not a result of his actions or efforts whatsoever, but rather it is our heritage from our forefathers to the Jewish people, as will be explained below in chapters 18 and 44. His innate feeling of connection to God, by virtue of which he is a Benoni, is not really his. He was born with it. He received it as an inheritance without working for it. This person then who turns away from evil and does only good lives within an opportune state of affairs, a box, as it were, in which his life unfolds in proper fashion. He is not a Benoni on the level of one who is serving God. For him, being a Benoni entails no work whatsoever. It is simply the normal lifestyle for someone of his nature. And then it goes on to where you're at now.
Right, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you. So too, he who is not inherently studious, but has accustomed himself to study diligently, so that this habit has become his second nature. Thus, diligence is now natural for him. For him too, the hidden love of God is now sufficient, unless he wishes to study more than he usually does. To do so, he must arouse a conscious love of God in his heart. Only such a love can supply the strength necessary to free himself from the restraints of his acquired nature. This explains the Talmudic statement from Giga 9b that he who serves God refers to one who reviews his studies 101 times, while he who serves him not refers to one who reviews his study only 100 times. It seems strange that this 101st revision should outweigh all the previous 100 and should earn the student the designation of he who serves God. However, when we appreciate the struggle one must face in order to learn more than is his custom, This is readily understood, as the Alter Rebbe goes on to explain. This is so because in those Talmudic days, it was customary to review each lesson 100 times. Yeah, I think it says you have to review something like 70 times or something in order to really have it down. Thus, to review 100 times did not require any effort. It was second nature. Only the 101st revision, which required effort beyond the student's custom, could gain him the appellation of he who serves God. The Talmud illustrates this by the analogy of the market of the donkey drivers. The drivers would charge 1 zuz for 10 parsi, Persian miles, but demanded 2 zuz for driving 11 parsi. For driving an 11th mile exceeded their customary practice. Therefore, this 101st revision, which is beyond the normal practice to which the student has been accustomed since his childhood, is equivalent to all the previous 100 revisions combined. In fact, its quality surpasses them in its greater strength and power, so it is only this one extra revision which entitles the student to be called he who serves God. For in order to change his habitual nature, he must arouse within himself the love of God by contemplating God's greatness in his mind. In order to master the nature that is in the left part of the heart, the seat of the animal soul, very important, which is full of the blood of the animal soul originating in Klippa, whence comes this nature, and the power of his love enables him to transcend his nature, and this to overpower one's animal soul through a love of God generated by meditation is a perfect service for a Benoni. And an alternate type of service for a Benoni is to arouse to a revealed state the love of God inherently found hidden in his heart, thereby to control the nature that is in the left part of the heart. This too is called serving God, although an imperfect service, to wage war against his nature and inclination by arousing the love hidden in his heart. If, however, he wages no war at all, not engaging even in the lesser struggle of arousing the love hidden within him, example, when he studies only to the limits of his natural diligence, then although he employs his hidden love of God in his divine service, yet this love in itself can in no way be credited to his service, and he is therefore called he who serves him not. To be designated one who serves God, the Benoni must engage in a struggle with his evil inclination, either through a love of God born of meditation, or at least by arousing his hidden love.
That
Isn't that-
footnote, that last footnote is good.
Okay. Footnote 10. He must employ at least his hidden love of God to motivate him to study Torah. For although he may be studious by nature, he still desires his bodily comforts. He still desires his bodily comforts more than the constant study that displaces them. That makes sense. So this
Mhm.
chapter, once you explain it, it makes perfect sense. If it's your animal soul's natural desire to study Torah, then you're not really serving Hashem. I guess that's what he says. He's not in that category. You're in the category one who serves him not, right? You have to go above and beyond. You have to go above and beyond what your animal soul's desire is.
Mhm. That's right.
It's very good. Okay, I'm going to stop recording 15 and I'm going to pick up with
James, can I?
Camera and give you a little. I'm gonna turn on my camera right quick.
Oh, sure.
and let you look at something? I'm trying to hold my place too. You ever seen this? You know what this is?
Oh, Hitas, yeah, it just came out. I think those came out. Well, I mean, Hitas has been around. A Hitat has been around, but I think they just did a new print or some such.
Yeah, Art Scroll just did this new print.
Oh, Art Scroll?
Yeah, this is from Art Scroll, and I bought, and it was a new print, so I didn't pay very much for it.
Art Scroll?
Yeah,
No way.
Well, hold on a minute.
I've never heard of them printing a Tanya.
Well, you-
Kahat.
The Scott Steen edition. I don't know who printed it.
Look on the very back cover.
Hold on a minute. It's the Scott Steen edition. So I was assuming it was Art Scroll.
Yeah, they've donated.
It had to be. I think I had to get it from Art Scroll.
Yeah, they've donated.
I paid for this thing about 8 months ago.
Yeah.
And before it was before print, so it got it, one of them deals.
Well, Hitas is Chumash.
Chabad House Publications.
Oh, okay.
But they got to be selling it through.
Maybe.
They have to be selling it through Art Scroll because that's where I bought it from.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
So tell us about. Go ahead and what you were saying.
Oh, it's a combination. It's Chumash, the first 5 books of the Tanakh, which is what we call the written Torah, and then Tehillim, and then Tanya.
And it's got a prayer book in it, and it's got prayers.
In it.
You can see how many.
Oh, it's got a Siddur. Yeah,
It's got a Siddur in it.
I know mine are very thin paper. Featherweight, very thin paper, just so they can cram everything in there.
This is very thin paper.
Yeah, and it's accustomed to carry one. If you're traveling, if you're in your car, just to make sure that you have a lot of the things that you need when it comes to Torah study and prayer.
This is like almost 3,000 pages.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm saying is, it's going along with this word for word as far as the translated text.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have any of the notes, it has very little notes in it.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. And you can do your daily study from that. So your daily Tehillim, your daily Torah portion, your Aliyah, and then your daily Tanya reading, and then you got your prayer. So yeah, it's like a custom to carry that around. Well, not carry it, but if you're traveling.
Just because it's got everything.
Mhm.
Well, it's very interesting. To be honest with you, I think I paid about $15 for it, if I remember correctly. It was so long ago.
Yeah.
And I forgot all about it. Gosh.
That's a pretty good deal. Now I know Chabad, Kahos or Kahot, however you want to pronounce it. They sell, what book is it that they sell really relatively cheap? I want to say it's the Tanya. It was always been their custom, and I forget if the Rebbe actually kind of made it a more than just a custom, but like more of a authority, like he kind of pushed for people to print the Tanya like at cost. And there might have been one other book, maybe the Siddur, but there's a push to just not rack up a profit with selling the Tanya, just trying to get it out as much as possible. So I wonder if you got a deal like that, because $15, that's a pretty good deal.
I think it was because it was before it was printed.
Oh,
it was I think it was one of those deals, maybe to
help, like you donated, yeah.
To get it put a donation to finance the printing of it, or whatever.
That happens a lot.
It seemed like that's what I thought I was getting, at the time, and you it was a pre-order.
Oh,
So maybe a pre-order price. Yeah, but it's very interesting. So I was just kind of curious of why it was following this translation so closely. Is
excellent.
this a Chabad publication that we're reading on the screen?
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, yep, yep. This is
That's why it is. Okay.
yeah, this is straight from Chabad.org and Lessons in Tanya. I don't know how their licensing works. I don't know if Lessons in Tanya is a separate entity, but yeah, Lessons in Tanya's been on here for free for a long time.
Dixie, did you have some commentary to add?
Yeah, but I think I lost it now.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No worries. That's what you're talking about. It's great. It's no worries. It goes back to the 100 times reading reading the whatever you're supposed to be reading. And
Yeah,
that
any
was
part of Torah.
because back then people didn't have books necessarily. So or they were lacking, and so they had to memorize things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they took little notes. They took
Mhm.
like little notes.
I could imagine them having a little scratch pad, something, little book, homemade book type of thing, where
Yeah.
they wrote things down in, to help them remember.
Yeah. That's why it said like, yeah, it's found in a Baraisa. Baraisa is those little notes that they took. So the rabbi who compiled the Talmud, he found all those little notes. Well, I'll say all of them, but he found a lot of them and he put them in the Mishnah or the Gemara, excuse me. Um,
Because it goes back to referencing what somebody else was thinking or saying
yeah,
about a particular
yeah.
topic.
Rabbi such and such said this. Very good. Dixie, did you remember what you were did you find it?
I haven't found it. It's crazy. It was right
Okay.
here. Huh. Customs. Oh, here it is, I think. Therefore, the 101st time devoted to reviewing a teaching, which extends to the normal practice that one was accustomed to since his youth, is equivalent to all the rest of them. Moreover, it surpasses them in strength and power, so he may be categorized as one who served God. And then it's going on, it says, breaking one's habit. That wasn't it. It was saying something about the other being because, but I can't find it. Sorry.
Alrighty. Well, good try, I guess. Let's see here. Okay, well, we're going to stop recording and we'll wrap up chapter 15 and then we'll go on to 16. Let's see here.